So let me deal with those ones that I know, and we'll be talking about the others as we move on. Now, we've gone extra mile now to also identify the medium taxpayers. Haven't realized that we've made some success with the large taxpayers. We're now saying, can we replicate that with the medium taxpayers? So we went around all the offices again and got another number of 1,500, whose turnover are between 200 million and 99999 million. We're going to start that experience before the end of the year, so that we can begin to treat those ones too with care. We'll nurture them just as we're nurturing the large taxpayers. Now, the surprising thing is, between 1 naira turnover and 200 million naira, we have about 62 or 69,000 of them. Because if you remove 1,005 large taxpayers and another 1,005 medium, that's about 3,000. And I told you earlier on that we have 220 active cases. Now, of these 220,000 active cases, I sent officers around to see how many of them are filing returns. And in doing so, we were contacting CAC to also see what number every year file annual return in line with CAMA provisions. We're doing better than them. While we are having about 50,000, 60,000 submitting returns, they are doing less than 50,000. But that's not saying we're resting on our oars. Now, from the report that I got as at the end of October last year, we have 82,000 that have filed returns in the last 5 years out of these 220. So, if the IMF sits with me and say, let me determine the level of compliance, that's probably what they'll be looking at. What tax population you have, how many of them are filing returns, and how many are filing in line with the self-assessment principle on due date. They're not going to look at the entire country because we're responsible for just the corporate entities and for the residents of the Federal Capital Territory. Because every other state government too, as the chairman are here, will also be able to say something about the level of compliance in their jurisdiction. So we now have about 62,000 that we're asking ourselves if we do not need to develop a specialized tax regime for. Of these 62,000, we have the micro businesses and we have the small taxpayers. Now the question is, we have a single tax law that says you must file return, you must prepare audited account, but I know that these micro businesses who are also answering corporate name may not be able to subscribe to that requirement. So we're saying to ourselves, we need to begin to help these businesses to grow. If we need to relax the standard, after all, we have provisions in the law that says we'll determine the form of returns. So we're exploring that possibility. We have to go to the National Assembly, but we must have an agreement here first. Before you know it, consultant will stand up again and say, oh, you're taking business away from us because they will not prepare accounts again. These are all social issues. But we are on top, and we think that as it is done in other African countries, we need to recognize that the micro businesses and the small businesses are not in the same categories as medium and the large taxpayers. And we cannot therefore expect that the same requirement will apply to them. Before June, you'll find all the large taxpayers already filing their returns. So what they need from FRS is different from what the micro businesses will need. I can tell you that most micro businesses in Abuja will require the presence of the revenue there with them, teaching them how to prepare books of accounts, working with the consultants, but the large taxpayers don't need that.
An appeal was made to tax consultants to lead by example.
We also want to appeal to the consultants It will also assist the government by also promptly, making their own contribution, their fair share of payments, especially in VAT and also in personal income tax. I think this will encourage so many people to actually come in to do their job, and we tell them to come and make payments. You're also doing your own at the same time. I think it makes it easier for every person.
Speaking once again, Mr. Osichuke spoke about the efforts of the tax authorities in bringing traders, some of whom have been known to be bigger than even the big corporates, into the tax bracket.
I think it's common knowledge that a lot of players in the markets are subsumed in the so-called informal sector, who are really formal, big and formal players, but they are there, perhaps in quotes, hiding. What we've done very strategically is try and integrate with the Nigerian Customs Service, because Nigeria is still import dependent, so most of these traders import a lot. So we are integrating, we have actually technically integrated with the Nigerian Customs Service, and pretty soon shall be unfolding what we've done. And it is such that so long as you do any import trade, wherever it is the market is that you are in, we will get to know about you right there at the port. Okay, so it should gladden your heart to know, therefore, that aside from trying to even locate physically in the markets, we're also trying to set up some presence electronically even before the trader gets the market where he trades. He also did touch on the discrepancy, the wide discrepancy about the population of registered companies with the companies registry, that's the Corporate Affairs Commission, and the taxpayers that are filing returns with FIRS. Again, what we've tried to do here is integrate with the Corporate Affairs Commission. By the time these and several other initiatives come fully on stream, I think the size of the so-called informal sector will be shrinking significantly. And that will be complemented, of course, by the further segmentation that he spoke about, which we are doing. Also very complementary to all of these is an initiative that has begun on the platform of the Joint Tax Board between the federal and the state tax administrations. And that's the bit of it that I will crave your indulgence to ask our colleagues from the states to talk to us about.
The Federal Inland Revenue Service introduces the tax card to make all tax payment easy for you. Just follow these 7 easy steps. Obtain your taxpayer identification number, TIN, for free at any FIRS office. Get your tax card from your bank. Log on to www.firsonline.com, then register to obtain a password and access the payment process pages. Fill your TIN number, tax type you're paying, amount payable, and period of payment. Confirm the entries on your transaction. Then print your e-ticket and present at any FIRS office as an evidence of tax paid. It's that simple. For more information, visit www.firs.gov.ng or any FIRS office close to you. FIRS, it pays to pay your tax.
In attendance at the interactive session were chairmen of State Boards of Internal Revenue in the Southeast region, Abia State, Ebonyi, Imo, Anambra, Enugu. The intervention of this state chairman will be a take-off point on the second installment of this story of the Stakeholders Forum held in Abakaliki, Ebonyi State. But that may not be next episode, because next episode we're going to tell you the story of the Federal Inland Revenue Service Western Regional Enlarged Management Meeting, which will hold in Ilorin, Kwara State on Thursday, the 11th of August. We want to thank you for joining us today, and we invite you to be our guest on this station every week on this program. This program, Tax Matters, is your roadmap to understanding the Nigerian tax system. Thank you for watching.